What's a wise life lesson you have learned? Confidence isn't, "I know they'll like me." Confidence is, "I'll be okay whether they like me or not." Don't put yourself down or spend time with those who do it for you. You don't always have to voice your opinion on everything. Sometimes it's just better to stay quiet. This is why I love Twitter or Reddit. I'll get all fired up, type out a response, and halfway through it think to myself, NAAAHHH. Delete. Move on. Being able to buy something is not the same as being able to afford it. The people who don't post everything on social media are often having more fun. A few weeks ago I heard a really tragic story from a friend. One of her good friends found out her husband had amassed tens of thousands of debt on their mutual credit cards and that their family was basically in financial ruin. He had lied about many things. But this whole time, the husband and wife have just been posting this really awesome life on Facebook. Sports, fun events, trips. The debt makes sense in retrospect. What is worse is that even now the wife is still posting tons of happy posts with their new family puppy. But in reality she is meeting with debt counselors and considering divorcing her husband because she is so unhappy. I've always heard, don't compare your everyday life with someone else's highlight reel. But really social media is less of a highlight reel and more completely manufactured. Never a failure, always a lesson. If you want to have friends, be proactive. Reach out to people. Invite them places. Organize get-togethers. Do things together. So many people are lonely because they are waiting to be invited. Also, don't eat yellow snow. Sometimes the juice ain't worth the squeeze. All battles can be bitter, and the sweet taste of victory isn't always a great chaser. So pick your battles wisely. Edit. The focus is actually about taking on a lot of work and not seeing good returns for what you put in. Like working your hardest to squeeze an orange, but you don't get a lot of juice or it tastes weird. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. You can apply it to arguing if you like, but the focus is on an effort you are putting in. You don't have to be friends with everyone. But try to be nice to everyone. How many toxic relationships in a row can you have before you start looking in the mirror? My best friend can't seem to grasp this concept. Whether it comes to romantic or friendly relationships, it's always the other person. And I'm curious as to how long she can go on until she realizes she plays a significant role in all of it. Conversely, maybe you're actually trying to form relationships with toxic people. First I thought my family was the problem. Then I realized if I'm having an issue with all my family members, maybe I'm the problem. Then I grew up and realized they were all fucked up from growing up raised by a mother with lots of problems, which I addressed within myself and they didn't. And they actually are toxic, and that's why no matter how hard I try, our relationship is always strained. Life's complicated, man. The answers are not at the bottom of a bottle 18 months sober. Write shit down. Meetings, social engagements, doctor's appointments, shopping lists, tasks, errands you need to run tomorrow, bucket list ideas. That thing you wanted to tell your grandpa but it's midnight so you can't call him right now. All of it. Worrying about something isn't going to change the outcome. It's only going to waste time and energy that could be better used somewhere else. Worrying is like praying for something you don't want to happen. Is the version that's stuck with me. Having a serious disease or disability does not automatically make someone a good person. I know a blind guy who seems to be the nicest guy you could meet. His close friends will tell you different though. As someone who works with machine tools and industrial equipment, here is one to always remember. If you wouldn't touch it with your dick, don't touch it with your finger. What about elevator buttons, public computer keyboards, and so on? If you've never typed a love letter with your willy, you haven't been in love. If you find yourself forever disappointed by your life, then the problem is your expectations. The most amazing things that can happen to a human being will happen to you if you just lower your expectations. Phil Dunphy. Always pay off your full credit card bill every month so you don't pay interest. My roommate keeps saying, "Oh, but they are only making me pay this much this month." I'm like, dude, pay your damn bill in full. Nobody actually knows what they're doing. We're all pretending, and that's okay. I forget where I heard this. Parenting is the most important job in the world, done by a bunch of amateurs. You don't have to stay with someone who makes you unhappy. This applies to romantic partners, friends, and yes, family too. If someone is hurting you, and doesn't stop or make a real effort to stop when you tell them, then you generally don't have any obligation to stay with them or love them, monsieur. Also, your friends are the family you choose. You do not have to love your family if they make you miserable or hurt you. People, largely, don't really care about you. Don't spend your whole life worrying what some stranger on the street is going to think about you. Because chances are they won't. They'll be too busy worrying about what strangers are thinking of them. Also, there is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow men. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self. Ernest Hemingway. Try not to take things personally. 99% of the time when someone brings you negativity or criticism, they are just talking to themselves, or acting out their own conflict on others. If you can hold your peace in these times, other people's problems with you will tell you a lot more about them than you could learn about yourself from them, monsieur. There's no shame in admitting that you don't understand or know something. This comes from some professional jealousy issues I had. No one has overnight success. The first time you see someone, they are standing on a mountaintop. No one got there without climbing every step. Thanks for this. My version is just because someone's circumstances seem easier than yours doesn't mean their circumstances are easy. Everyone struggles. It's true that some people have advantages or get lucky. Maybe it's very hard for you, but that doesn't mean it's especially easy for anyone else. Your inherent value, your worth, your self-respect, is not tied to your job or the work you do. If there was no need for money or having a job tomorrow, you will still have value as a human being. For so long I unconsciously defined myself by my job. My value to society as a whole was based on what I did for a living. Then, for medical reasons, I had to stop working. I couldn't even work part-time. I went into a tailspin as my identity overnight vanished. I was a workaholic who spent most of my time either at work, researching topics related to work, or discussing work with other people in the industry, which was also a kind of research related to work. Not working, I had no idea what to do with myself. For a long time, I would say things like, "I'd love to do less than eggs greater than thing. If only I had the time." Well, now I had all the time in the world, but I no longer had any drive, passion, or interest. It's taken a couple of years for me to sort myself out and to rediscover who I am as a person. So my hard-earned wisdom is this: you are not your job. It is only a small fraction of you who you are. Nourish the rest of yourself and realize that you are far more than simply the work you do. This ties in with a mantra I recently acquired: no amount of money ever bought a second of time. With that said, take my upvote, you magnificent bastard. Thumbs up. Never count another man's money. You'll be much happier that way. Unless you're an accountant, I suppose. On a related note, don't be an accountant. You'll lose a lot of friends in your life. It may be sad, but there are better people that you're going to meet. Or, specifically, they will be better for who you are now. There could be some great people in your past, who were exactly who you needed at that point in your life. But, people grow and change, and they might not be who you need now. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Teddy Roosevelt. Unless you're a police officer, medical professional, pilot, or literally anyone whose job means holding someone else's life in your hands, Although I guess adding those concessions really clutters up the quotable mug. Sometimes nothing is the worst thing to do. But not always. I wonder what specific context situation TR was addressing when he said this. Life is not fair. It should be. But it's not. Sometimes it will kick you in the crotch for no reason. I get it does that, but can it take a break for once? Learn to hold your tongue in a moment of anger. Think first. One word or one sentence can ruin friendships or relationships. Do not, ever, lend anyone money unless you can afford to not be paid back. I was foolish enough to try and help someone and lent them $10K. Now they're in jail and I haven't seen a dime paid back. 2 years ago and I still don't have that much money in my bank. Just don't do it. On a related note, in the opposite direction, I once gave my sister a jar of coins I had saved up for a few years to pay her rent. I never even knew how much it was, and haven't ever seen a dime of it back. However, my relationship with her has not suffered because my mom told me before I did it. Don't do this if you're going to expect it back. You may never see it again. I'm glad I did it, and far more glad that I never expected it back. To have it hanging over our heads would have been very hard on our relationship. Don't spend your paycheck to impress others. And don't try to impress others with the size of your paycheck. I know a few people like that. Guess who my least favorite people to hang out with are? Those working minimum wage. The easiest life motto is don't be a dick. Try to go out of your way to be kind. And the people who are dicks to you will look like the dicks. And the strangers who you never see again will have a good experience to look back on. Don't be a dick. It's that simple. Don't do illegal things just for the hell of it and always have a fallback plan. And if you're gonna break one law, don't break another. I.e., don't speed if you were just smoking weed. Sometimes when one door opens, another door closes. Do not Q-tip your ear near the closed door. I may open again. Being put in uncomfortable positions is great for personal growth and development. Never buy the cheap toilet paper, or the cheap bin bags. Greater than never buy the cheap toilet paper. Best way to get in touch with your inner self. Sure, but it's a shitty way to do it. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. Master Ogwe, wisest turtle in the universe. Be careful who you trust. The regret you may feel from trusting the wrong person tends to be far worse than the regret you'd feel from being a little more cautious. Conspicuous. Asterisk asterisk buy asterisk asterisk a plunger before you asterisk asterisk need asterisk asterisk a plunger. Save money. You might not get some of the things you want right now, but the peace of mind it will pay for will be so much better. Also, don't be beholden to the almighty dollar. You should spend money on things that make you happy. A great way to think about it is, does this bring me enough happiness I am willing to give up XX hours of my life working for it? Yes. Make a budget and live by it. But don't be so afraid to spend money you forget to live. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.